Are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Tool to Play presents Still Got Game with Derek D. Smooth Nolan and Joel Dude I Rock Albert.
This episode of Still Got Game is brought to you by Think Geek and the Craft Beer Club. Hey now! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Still Got Game, episode 324. Still Got Game is the official podcast of ToolToPlay.com. I am, as always, Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
And I'm Joel Dude I Rock Albert.
And joining us later from the news desk will be Tiffany Electrify Nolan. Joel Dude I Rock Albert, what is going on?
Not a mooch. Had a busy week last week. We're back on again.
We're back.
Hit or miss.
We have
like
the
normal.
full house this time. Tiff is
I know. It's
producing
crazy.
the show. We have Hitman back in the house doing his pro level producing. Not that Tiff did a bad job. She did an amazing job. But yeah, this is the actual real show.
Yeah, the whole crew. This is rare. This is like the rarest of all shows right now.
Yeah, it's like the unicorn of shows.
Exactly.
And we had some compliments and complaints. Most of the complaints just had to do with when Hit was not here, we had no outtakes because just the way that we didn't record the show, I had to get it off of Twitch and everything else. And so the outtake lovers didn't like it. But the show itself looked, especially last week with the innovations that were made on Tiff's part in the 11th hour.
Innovations.
Yeah, she's going to keep hitting this game, I'm telling you. But all right, well, why don't we just jump right in the show proper tonight since we're off to a good start. We started on time, which is also another rare unicorn.
Rare again.
Yes.
Hit was there early. I mean, it was weird.
It was insane. It was perfect. This is how it's supposed to be. It's like we actually care.
Let's not go that far. Come on.
All right. So we'll jump right into feedback from last week's show. Remember, if you want to leave us a voicemail, it will cut you off after a minute. Bagel Snot comments. Thanks for using my comment on the last show. I'm thrilled to the gills that Hitman is coming back. Outtakes incoming, I hope. Yeah, they'll be here.
Yeah, they'll be here. Yeah, that's a given. Yeah. But yeah, Hit's back. We dearly, dearly missed him. It was tough times for us. Tiff brought us through the fire, like Phoenix is rising from the flame. But now Hit's back, and Tiff gets to sit back and hang out.
Yeah, this is the part of the show where she just listens and drinks. And
yeah,
we hope that the drinking is enough, but not too much, that by the time it's the part that she remembers to unmute.
It's like when you're playing pool. She needs to get that like right in the zone where all of a sudden she's hitting corner pocket shots, but not so far where she throws up on the actual pool table.
Exactly.
It's a fine line.
It's like the mountain climber game on Price is Right. You go, yodeling, 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 but you don't want to go over the top because that's not a good part. But yes, so thank you, Bagel Snot, and Hit is back. Also, Skeeter comments. Great job with the producing, Electrify. It's good to know that in a Hitman emergency that you are more than capable. Yeah, once again, she was definitely more than capable.
Yeah. Like I said, new innovations every day.
Yeah. I felt like we gave Tiff her kudos when they were due because I was nervous, to be honest, when she was going to be doing all her stuff. And we went to Hitman's files, and Hitman hasn't been updating certain things on our shared area. They were on his own computer, and she had to kind of wing some things together, but it all worked out. And
it certainly wasn't as bad as like the monkey patching that I did for our show. That was some ghetto level quality filming.
Well, granted, 5 minutes before the show, neither of us had XSplit installed. So
probably not the most prepared show that we've ever done.
No, but it was a show nonetheless. It got better and better during Hitman's absence, and now he's back, and we're expecting nothing but the best Hit. So no pressure. All right, and last but not least, Tonya comments. I absolutely love your show. I'm hoping to check out the YouTube version soon, but right now I'm primarily a car listener. Thanks for making my commute so fun.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we have a lot of car listeners. I think it's the majority of our show still to this day. Yeah. But it's always nice if you have the time, if you're at work and you feel like no one's watching and you got some free time, put it on.
Yeah.
Definitely wear headphones when you do that. Don't.
Certainly, yes. But if you're a work listener and not a car listener, you may as well just listen to the YouTube version because you're going to hear all the fuck ups in line, and you're going to give us one more view on YouTube, which is
that's all right. That's the real reason.
That's really the short point of this and that's where we really can tell where the bulk of our audience lies. But I'll admit it myself. I'm a podcast guy. I probably listen to 7 or 8 different podcasts a week, and I listen to them all during my commute. I don't
Yeah, it's easier. It's fully understandable. I mean, you're driving down the road. Some people have like an hour or 2 hour commute. It makes the most sense there. So you're not going to wait to get all the way to work and then watch it on video. But if you do, or if you forget to listen to it one time, just while you're at work, open up a little tab in your browser, go over to YouTube, put in our name, good to go.
Exactly. All right. Well, if any of awesome feedback like these fine folks, give us a call, 773-527-2961, or email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. And site-related news, I've got nothing. It's the holiday season. I'm assuming Jay hasn't.
No, I've nothing. Nope. I did some forum work yesterday, like last night or like late last night, just to clean up some of the old games that no one really talks about anymore. Moved some of the forums around, but other than that, everything's likely going to be exactly the same. After the holidays, have some more plans for the forums, as well as game tagging and all those other things. And also, I'm working on trying to get a push to recruit some more people into the fold to play games with one another.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that plan.
Yeah, it's good.
Yes, I'm always up for planning for the with the community. Sure. So, all right. Well, Jay, on that, why don't we slam on over into what we're playing? Joel, Dude, I Rock, Albert, what have you been playing this week?
Halo. I can't get enough.
Wow.
It's the best Halo I've played. This is from a guy. I mean, I feel like if you go back to my history of talking about Halo, you're going to hear nothing but negative shit from like Halo 3 on. It's just the most negative shit I could pop. Now, I had no intention of buying this Halo. I hated Halo. But I have this Halo 5 is 343 deserves a lot of credit. They've lifted Halo to a place where I didn't think it could be with some of the tweaks. They didn't go so crazy where you've got, like armor abilities and all this other bullshit that I think made Halo shitty, although some people liked it, but that's why I hated it. That's all gone, but they've moved just enough things sort of in one direction to make it feel like a new Halo and not feel exactly the same, but still somehow remain feeling like Halo. So it's they did a really good job. So nice. I'm having a great time.
Well, that's good.
What about you?
Like I said, I pre-ordered Halo and still haven't played it yet because I am still balls deep in Destiny. And I don't know. I love the raid. I love like last week was Iron Banner. I played the shit out of that. I love the multiplayer stuff, especially when Iron Banner's around in Destiny. It's a really, really fucking good time. And I gotta carve out some time for Halo here at some point, but for the time being, it's just Destiny. We already have our raid nights planned for this week, and yeah.
So, are you doing hard mode raids yet, or
We're doing hard on Wednesday night. I think we're doing hard, but yeah.
So you still have stuff to kill, right? Like you still have.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's
Yes. So yeah, we our raid team changed up a little bit, so we had some new folks that we had to get up to speed, and but yeah, so I think everybody's now, especially after Iron Banner, everybody's light levels are insane and through the roof because Iron Banner was like the ultimate, like 310 to 320 drops every time for just
really.
Yeah, you didn't play Iron Banner this time?
I haven't played Destiny in about 2 years.
Oh my god, it was insane. Like people are getting 320 weapons, 318.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it was lucrative. The Iron Banner.
That's good. I mean, I think they needed a boost for those players that couldn't quite get raid gear, or like couldn't get too far in the raid. Like if you really weren't doing well in hard mode, then you were not getting any new light levels. So it kind of made it difficult for you if you wanted to, kill bosses and shit. So that's good.
Yeah. So now that everybody's all leveled up, I think that there should be no issues. But
nice.
So yeah, looking forward to that, and that's basically all I've been doing. But.
Sweet.
All right. Well, on that, why don't we jump on over the new releases? First new release out this week is a multi-platform release, and it's Just Cause 3. And this is out for the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PC. And this is the third game in Square Enix's popular Just Cause series and a direct sequel to 2010's Just Cause 2. Naming is really easy with these things because they just increment the number. The open world is still, it's set on that same exact island, which a lot of these games, they find something new so they can grow the size of the terrain. Here, they were kind of tied to this island because that's where everything is set. So what they did around this time to increase the playable area is they went up and down. So now there's all kinds of, the buildings on the island can all be entered and traversed and gone up. So you've brought it upwards now, as well as now there's all these subterranean caves in the game so you can go underground. And so despite having the same overall 400 square mile footprint, you can actually move around a lot more of the game space. Parachute and grappling hook mechanics have been improved this time around. And now you have full-time access to a wingsuit that you're always wearing, so that kind of increases the playability of various areas too, especially when you're starting high, wingsuiting down low. And also every bit of the game, that includes every bit of the terrain and every single non-player character in the game, are all things that are grappleable. So you can wing your grappling hook anywhere and go there. You can wing your grappling hook around an NPC and pull them to you. It doesn't matter. The grappling hook has been totally overworked in this game. There's no early review scores out yet, but the internet's pretty pumped for this. This is a game that then people have been calling for a long time. And once next gen came, that was one of the big requests, and it's good to see it come out. I was never a huge fan of the series, but I know a lot of people that are.
Yeah, I haven't. I mean, it's weird with Just Cause. I'm like hyped by. I'm not pre-ordering it. I didn't buy it. I think I'll pick this up though when it's a price drop. There's so much like memes around it and just funny stuff around it, like on Reddit or YouTube. It feels like it could be a worthwhile game to play. Like it reminds me of oh shit, what was the game that got you into the Halo beta back in the day?
Crackdown?
Crackdown. Not like that the game types are similar, but in terms of it, the fun factor of just kind of going into a game and doing ridiculous shit.
Yep.
But even more so, obviously, with Just Cause, because it's like, you see people taking cows and stringing them up and whipping them like a lasso and throwing them at a plane, and then the plane explodes. That shit's insane. And I feel like that's something I could get behind. But we had a discussion right before the show about us not really being into single player anymore, which is kind of the problem with Just Cause. But I think if it was at a lower price point later on, after I'm done with Halo and Destiny and stuff, I could see myself picking it up because it does seem completely like ridiculous enough where it could be fun just to play for a bit.
Yeah, exactly. Could be a good offline game too. Take your Xbox somewhere where you don't have internet. Yeah, boom. Well, it's a little Just Cause. Boom, done. All right. Well, the other new release out this week is also a multi-platform release, and it's Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. And this is also out for the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PC. This is going to be a new trend that we're going to see for a long time, is last gen dropping off, and it's just going to be the current gen and PC every time. This is the latest half-ass entry in Ubisoft's Rainbow Six series. After scrapping Rainbow Six Patriots, which was going to be the game that was supposed to come out last year, and then they scrapped it early on last year. Ubisoft took the series a new direction with this Rainbow Six Siege. They basically took away the entire single-player aspect of the game, leaving only traditional multiplayer, as well as, of course, they threw in a horde mode. That was their solution. Like, you can play it by yourself in a horde mode with some bot friends, or you can play co-op and do horde mode. But the single player, which a lot of people liked, is gone, and it's basically just the multiplayer. This time around, the game features massively destructible environments, and that all can be leveraged in gameplay, whether it's blowing through the floor of a building that's below you and dropping down on guys that are underneath you and unsuspecting, or through a wall or whatever. That's a huge part of this game. The reviews are all embargoed till tomorrow, so we'll have to see if excising the single player out of the game has any effect on the review scores, because usually the series is pretty popular and does pretty well, but who knows how much of that is based on people enjoy doing a single player campaign and then rolling into multiplayer. But and some people I know never played the multiplayer in Rainbow Six. I played with friends plenty of times over the years that played the Rainbow Six campaign, and then they would hop back into Halo with me. So I don't know if this is going to be good or bad for them, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. So I've heard bad things, to be honest with you. I had the beta, and I actually didn't even try it. But after the beta was done, going into Reddit and reading the forums and whatnot, there were like a lot of problems with it, and I think a lot of people just said it wasn't fun. And I think that was like one of the vibes is that it wasn't fun.
Part of games they're supposed to be fun.
Yeah, like that's part of the MO when you purchase a video game, is that when you're playing it, you should like it. But I have not heard one single good thing about the game. That's not to say that it could be wrong. Maybe the full game is amazing, but I think there's this other trend, kind of piggybacking off our other conversation in gaming right now, which is multiplayer only games. Mm-hmm. And I think that works for some people. Certainly me. I don't mind. I don't ever play single player. I didn't play the single player for Halo 5, and I love the game as well. But for a lot of people, they feel weird or icky paying $60 plus for a game that's only multiplayer when so many games aren't. And a lot of this game was obviously scrapped. They clearly went in one direction, didn't feel like it was the right thing. I have this sort of inkling or feeling that maybe they were like, oh shit, we're running out of time. And cobbled a lot of what you see with Siege together. I could be wrong. It's obviously just
No, that seems exactly what it's like.
Yeah.
So for Tim
I
to
think
scrap it
people
all
get the
together,
vibe.
cut stuff out, and then
put it out as
add in the
we'll call it
multiplayer.
Siege.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it's certainly not a game that's on my radar at all, which is ironic because a single player game in our show is on my radar and a multiplayer game is not, which is weird. But yeah, I mean, it could be good. I used to love, like, when Ghost came out a long, long, long time ago, back in the Tool to Play early days. I actually really liked the game.
Yeah.
I've always been a decently, not like a uber fan, but a fan of Rainbow Six games, and I have no desire whatsoever to play this game. Just none.
That's unfortunately my boat also. And part of it, I don't know if anything this has to do with the fact that after Tom Clancy died, that they still keep putting out games with his name on, that he's really not. And granted, how much was he really associated with the previous games? None of us will ever know, but there was a point where they were going to stop, and then they came out with that press statement like back in 2013 when he died that was like, in honor to keep respecting him, we're going to keep his name in the titles. But I don't know if there's things like this where maybe Tom Clancy would have been like, yeah, you're not going to put out a game with my name on it that doesn't have a single player campaign. That
it's weird.
The whole
right?
thing is me telling a story.
He's a storyteller, and we're playing multiplayer only. Yep. I mean, that certainly is part of even what I liked about Ghost is that I felt like, and even though I played the single player, but I couldn't even tell you anything about it. Mm-hmm. However, I knew like that it's the Tom Clancy feel. It was a part of the reason it attracted me to the game in the first place. Yep. And this really that's the thing about this game is it really feels like it has no, I mean, there's the only thing is the title. And then everything else feels like it could be anything. No, that could just be CSGO, right? With like skins that make it Tom Clancy again. But no, it's still not.
The whole Tom Clancy thing was you played through the game and you felt all Tom Clancy, and then you were like, I wish I had more. And you're like, oh, I do. I can just play multiplayer and then keep reliving that Tom Clancy thing I just did. Here, you don't have that thing to build the multiplayer off of. And I think that's where the shortcut comes.
Agreed.
All right. Well, Jay, on that, why don't we hop on over into gaming news and we'll hit up Tiffany Electrify Nolan at the news desk. Tiff, what is going on tonight? How are you?
Hey guys, it's easy peasy tonight. I don't have to do any producing. Just kind of sit back, relax, just watch you guys fuck shit up. It's all good.
Yeah, this must be so much easier.
It's so much nicer.
Nice. All right. Well, why don't we hop right in the meat and hit up the first story?
Xbox One Elite controller has exceeded our planning, and this is coming from Microsoft, and this is on GameSpot. Demand for the $150 Xbox One Elite controller has surpassed Microsoft's original planning, and the company is now working to get more in stock. That's according to Xbox boss Phil Spencer, who talked more about the demand for the sold-out controller in an exchange with fans on Twitter recently. "We're working to get more in stock," he said. "Sorry, they've been so hard to find." Asked if they could expect to be able to buy an Elite controller before Christmas, Spencer said he wouldn't say yes or no. "It's tough as I don't want to overpromise," he explained. "Demand has just exceeded our planning. If you find one and you want it, pick it up. Sorry." The Xbox One Elite controller launched at the end of October alongside Halo 5 Guardians. The pad's premium price point did not scare people away, it seems, as the controller sold out quickly. Right now, the controller remains sold out at places like Amazon, GameStop, and Microsoft's own store. The Microsoft Store page says new Elite units will ship on December 28th, missing the holiday. There's another way to get your hands on an Elite controller. You can buy the new $500 Xbox One Elite model that launched this month. It comes with a 1TB console and the unique transforming controller. I know this is on my Christmas list, Derek Nolan. So I hope someone's going to figure out how we're going to get one of these. What do you guys think of this story?
I'll tell you from firsthand perspective, this is the best controller I've ever had in my entire life. I absolutely love the controller. The paddles, I've gone through different iterations of not having all four on. Right now, I'm down to just one paddle, and that's all I need to do the one thing that I need. Having all four underneath was a little much at some points, but it's customizable. You can pick what you're doing on what pad. It is the best controller ever, and it is on. You're not the only one. There's 3 people in the family here that have this on their Christmas list, and
oh, you're fucked.
I know. But have you picked one up yet, Jay?
No, I mean, I've been on the back order since the day it sold out. I didn't pre-order. I didn't care enough. And I still don't feel any, I want the controller, don't get me wrong. It's going to be on pre-order and I'm excited to get it. I'm not like dying to get it. I still kick a shit ton of ass in Halo with or without a certain controller. So it's okay, but I would love it. I mean, it looks amazing. And the one thing I think the big thing out of the story is how everyone was talking earlier before this thing came out that the price point was like way too high and no one was going to buy this thing.
That's probably when they ramped
like
down production.
Said,
yeah.
I mean, we said this, of course, because we're always right. That that price point didn't fucking matter, and it didn't. People are like, I don't give a shit. I'll give you $200 for one. People were buying them on eBay for almost $250. So like, it just goes to show if you make a great product and people like and they want that product, demand is there, and I think there's always been a demand for a controller like this. Then people will buy it, and it's a great, from all intents and purposes, it's a great controller. So I'm not surprised in the slightest. I hope that I get one, at December 28th, like they say, but I'm not even holding my breath. I mean, this thing is like everyone wants one. So
it is. It's well worth the money, and it doesn't surprise me. Like you said, we called it, but it surprises me that Microsoft did not feel the possibility of success and back that up with stock, because this is the time of year to fucking have this thing.
Why do they do this? Christmas, man. They could have made them on an expensive product. I mean, it's one of the more expensive pieces that you can buy from Microsoft.
And everybody wants it.
And there's not one kid who's like, I don't want it. Everyone wants it. And kids, adults, my cat, they all want the controller for something.
Yep.
So it feels like you would know this, or at least, I don't know, maybe they wouldn't need to overproduce, but certainly you'd want to match what you would think the demand would be just for your regular controllers. I know it's more money, but I do think that like at the end of the day, people, at least from the internet's perspective and how the dialogue was about how amped people were about this controller, I just suspected that they would have sort of the inventory to back that up.
Oh, I know.
But they didn't.
Especially where all these people got their consoles last year, and now the parents are all willing to buy another big ticket item. They're like, oh, you want this controller thing? It's only $150. It's not $400. Oh, you're getting that for Christmas, son.
Right. Sign me up. I paid $500 last year.
Yeah, exactly. Like such oversight on Microsoft's part. But I do hope that they come back in stock soon and that everybody that wants one gets one, because it is the greatest peripheral I've ever held in my entire life. Really. Besides my own junk. But other than that, talking peripherals, that's the number one. And this is the number two. Yes. All right. Next story.
The patent on loading screen mini games just expired, and this comes from Kotaku. For 20 years, Namco Bandai has held the patent US 5718632A, which has given them ownership of the idea of a loading screen minigame. On Friday, that patent expired. This is a big deal. For 2 decades, companies that wanted to keep players busy during loading times, like Ridge Racer's Amazing Galaga, either had to pay Namco, find ways around it as EA's FIFA series has, or give up and go back to writing a ton of boring tips and lore screens for people to read. Don't go expecting minigames to start turning up in bigger games quite so quickly, though. The patent forbade people from even working on minigames, let alone implementing them. So it may take a while to get them ready. So what do you guys think of this?
This is a great story.
I didn't even know that.
Me neither.
I didn't realize why it never caught on. And it was because Namco Bandai were assholes. Because I remember the Ridge Racer, you could play Galaga while the game was loading. Like that
fucking
was
awesome.
Yes.
I mean, it's fucking like that's when I read this story today, I was like, wait, that's a thing? Like that's why the loading screens have sucked this bad for so long, because these fucking assholes have sort of like put the stronghold over on everyone. This is like weird, great news where I'm like, yay, eventually when I am super bored on a loading screen, I'll be able to play some other game while I wait. But it's cool. Like, it's cool that this is finally over, the tyranny, if you will, of it's over. And there'll be like fun little things people could do. Because it couldn't be written any better. Every single loading screen for the beginning in time seems to either be lore or a tip, like, first Abe, did you know that you can jump higher if you hit A twice? Like, I don't need to read that 700 times a day.
So and they repeat. That's the other problem.
Right. They're all
those there's only so many tips they can give you, and they repeat. But the little game during the loading screen is something that doesn't repeat. That's something you can play over and over and over. And I always wondered why. Like I wondered why it never caught on, and it never occurred to me that someone could actually patent that, which goes back to our usual complaints about the patent system and how you can patent fucked up shit. But it is good that this is opening up, and I hope that we see more and more of this as games come. And the fact that they had not only could you not do them, but you couldn't even work on them. That's like the fuck.
Yeah, right. Like if you were planning on maybe one day this going away, they could sue you.
Yeah,
I mean, essentially, right? So unless people have been working on it in secret, and then like now that this is lifted, they're gonna be like, oh shit, we just have this library of loading screen.
Like we have to wait like a month before we put this out, so they don't think we're
right
working on it.
Makes it seem like we just sort of whipped it up in our spare time, but it's like an 8-month project that's been taking forever.
But no,
it's a good story.
It's cool news.
It's cool news.
Yes. All right, next story.
Report says PlayStation 4 unlocks more power for developers, and this comes from Polygon. One of the 2 processing cores the PlayStation 4 reserved to handle its user interface and other system functions has been unlocked for use by developers, according to notes in a recent update to software used to develop for the console. Eurogamer, which noticed a reference to newly unlocked 7th core in the changelog for the Fmod audio development software, says it has confirmed that the extra processing power is now available. The PlayStation 4 has 8 processing cores, 2 of which are set aside to run the console's UI and other functions. The extra horsepower does not necessarily mean better performance on existing games. A developer would have to patch the game for it to use the newly available core. It's also possible that though games now have access to the UI's turf, its core functions may still take priority, varying the power available to a game's software. In January, Microsoft opened up the 7th of the Xbox One's 8 cores to supply extra computing power. However, developers found that system-related functions such as voice commands still took as much as half of that core's capability. So this is kind of fucked up. What do you guys think about this?
Yeah, this is interesting. I don't know that I care about this as much as I might have. Well, it's weird. I was thinking about it earlier, and it's great that they're opening more cores for developers to use. Totally fine. But where we are in the world of graphics and how things currently work, I mean, I'm a PC gamer. My PC shits all over Xbox One. They're not even in the same realm, right?
Yep.
And them opening another core isn't going to get them any closer to my PC.
No, the GPU is the gate for these.
That's the gate.
The consoles,
right.
Yes.
So I don't think it actually matters to gamers ultimately. I think it's great for developers because that gives them new avenues to do things that they might not have been able to do. But when the majority of those things are usually ported to PC later anyway, maybe it's good for a PC gamer just because then it won't be as shitty of a port. But I don't think it ultimately matters to us, the consumer, at the end of the day. I feel like the AAA games that we've been seeing they're great. I think like Witcher proves that it's great graphics, great gameplay, fairly smooth. Frame rates are pretty decent. Halo 5, very, very smooth, 60 frames per second, great for an FPS. So like they're not missing the marks right now in terms of what they're doing for these games. Yep. So I've got I had no complaints before, and so when I see stuff like this, I mean it's great, but ultimately I don't know that it affects us.
Yeah, I don't think this is the big jump ahead. Like I remember when we talked about the story when Xbox was doing it, and we were like, oh, this is going to be the end all be all, and they're finally going to have all games at 1080p, 60 frames a second. It still doesn't help. It's not enough. It gives you, especially where that processor is shared with something else, and potentially, especially in the PlayStations, at least on Microsoft, they basically split the processing there, and you were guaranteed half of that CPU. But here on PlayStation side, it's if we need it, we're taking it. Otherwise, you can use it. So really, as a developer, do you want to take advantage of something that may or may not be there? Because you may actually get worse performance counting on something that's not going to be there for you if all of a sudden the system stuff is doing something behind the scenes that uses more of that processor than you think it's going to. So
yeah, I mean, you're almost like painting yourself into a possible bottleneck that you probably didn't have before.
Yep.
And again, like it could be a good thing, but like Derek said, in terms of like the incremental power that you're going to gain from opening up another CPU, I don't think it's going to be enough that you as a consumer will notice it, because we've seen this with the life cycle of any console. Even if they don't open CPUs, they learn just how to develop better on a system as time goes on. Like if you were to just take the cores out of the equation, games will in fact more than likely look better as time goes on this system. It's just a matter of time, and they need to learn. So when you see things like this, I think gamers sometimes see this and they're like, oh, sick. Now my, shit's going to be like a brand new PC. No, it's not even going to be close. You're not even in the same realm.
No, it's right? the natural development is better.
Yes.
Yep. Like look at Perfect Dark Zero versus Halo 4
right
on the Xbox 3 shitty. Like 2 games, same exact hardware. It might as well have been a different console generation. So yeah, I think just as time passes, people learn how to program for the hardware better, and that is what's going to be better for games moving forward, as opposed to these extra half cores.
Yeah, they're good. It's not a bad thing, but ultimately, I don't think it affects us.
Yep.
As a consumer.
Yeah. Agreed.
Good story.
All right, Tiff, next story.
This week's What the Fuck story. A new chiptune album is coming to the Nintendo Famicom, and this comes from Joystick X and Gadget. Every week, it feels like a new video game soundtrack gets a vinyl release. Journey, The Last of Us, FTL and Shenmue, none of these are surprises anymore. So what's next? Mini discs? Cassette tapes? Well, some musicians are keen to use cartridges instead. 8-Bit Music Power is a new chiptune album that you'll need to slide into a Nintendo Famicom, Japan's equivalent of the NES, to listen to. Developed by Ricky and manufactured by Columbus Circle, it features 12 original tracks from, among others, former Famicom music composers Yuriko Kainu, who did Xevious and Dig Dug, and Takeaki Kunimoto, who did Star Soldier. Jay, you're so lucky to not be reading this. I just see you smiling. Given it's a cartridge, there's more than just audio here. Each track is accompanied by some pixelated visuals, a music video of sorts. Unfortunately, this unusual music release is only planned for Japan. It'll be available through Amazon for 3,800 yen, which is roughly $30 US, from January 31st, and only several thousand copies are being made. And this is according to the Wall Street Journal. But if it's popular, who knows? Maybe we'll get an NES version too. Like, what's going on here?
I think going to vinyl nowadays is still weird. Like, I know people love vinyl, but I don't have a nice turntable. I know most people don't. Some people do, but I felt like that was like the hipster thing. Like, let's put it on vinyl. Like, talk about one-upping the hipster quotient to, let's put it on the Famicom and go true, 8-bit. But
this feels like, obviously it's being released in Japan for a reason. This feels like something for the Japanese culture and Japanese fans. This is not, I feel like this is one of those stories where, we read it and we're like, this is fucking, like, why is anyone, what? $30 for like a fucking my old NES that I never even used. And if I did, it's like for like a joke or a laugh to have some fun. I think though, in Japan, like this is like a big deal. Like I could see this. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I see people in Japan being like, oh my God, finally, like it's going to be amazing. And like, that's the type of culture I think that would dig something like this more than we would. So I could be totally off base. Maybe like in Japan, they're thinking like, nah, dude, this
isn't for us either,
as
man.
Stupid as you think it is for everyone involved. No one understands why this is being made. That could be potentially the thing. But I could see it. I don't know. Like we're talking about Dig Dug. We're talking about like super old games that no matter what people have nostalgia for. If you hear the music, you know the game it's from. If you play those games when you were a kid, and maybe they need a reason to listen to them. But do they need to put them on the system? I don't know. Like they have to carry the Famicom around. Like if you want to play your tunes, you gotta like bring your Famicom.
It's not going in your car.
It's right. It's fucking ridiculous.
Even to hook it up to your home stereo is a hassle. Like a lot of like the Famicom didn't have left right video. It had a coax connection.
Right.
So well, granted, in the overseas it had a SCART connector, but still that was not really suited for your current home theater. And there's going to have to be some hoops that are jumped around.
Yeah, like it's like an inconvenience product. It's like if you were going out there, you're like, I need to find a product. I want to try to do this one thing specifically, but I want to buy a product that makes it really hard to actually complete the task that I need this product for.
It would be like in the new Star Wars movie when it comes out, instead of coming out on Blu-ray, they're like, we're putting it out on Betamax. And you're like, okay, that's
like, wow, that's
pretty right
that's
there.
Bold.
Yes.
That's bold for you. I don't feel like you're getting a lot of traction, but that's totally bold. That's a bold move.
You love Betamax? Cool. That's cool. And Laserdisc. All right. Betamax and Laserdisc. Yeah. Who still has one?
3 guys do. And you got to go to their house. Got to get there early. It's a big line. It's not worth doing.
Wow.
Derek, what do you think about the story?
Jay, this story has me saying, what the fuck? And on that, we'll hop on over the mailbag and voicemails. Altius asks, did either of you venture out on Black Friday for the console madness? Last year, it seemed like most of the great deals were in store, but this year, almost all were available online. And Altius is super fucking correct on this. Like last year, I was out at midnight picking up consoles for the boys. But this year, every deal that was online was either
Amazon
the same or better than what you could get in a store. It didn't make sense to, at least console wise, to go out and venture out in that chaos.
Yeah, the deals this year, even having said that, were not all that amazing. And I'm not even just saying console sales. I mean, like in general, they were okay. I actually picked up a new TV. Because like if you're ever going to buy a TV, this is pretty much the time.
Yeah, this or Super Bowl or your TV.
Yeah, you've got two times to ever buy a TV in your life. If you ever buy a TV, this is just for everyone else listening, that is not one of those 2 times, you're doing it wrong.
Yep.
Really, really wrong. So yeah, I mean, but even those deals, I think I paid like, I can't remember what I paid, but I got like a 70. I want to get like a 70-inch for my living room, like a nice, huge one.
Nice.
But it was relatively cheap, but not as cheap as I expected it to be, you know, given the timing. But it was still, it was a good price. But I noticed that sort of all around, that the deals were good, but they weren't like the amazing Black Friday deal that you were totally hoping for.
I feel like the Xbox deals online were probably the best I've ever seen.
Those were the best I've ever seen.
Now they've had the price cut, and they're either cutting the price by an additional $50 for Black Friday, or they were throwing in whatever the bundle you picked plus another free game. So you're either getting a $60 value or $50 off, which is for a console that just had a price cut like less than a month ago or a month and a half ago. That's insane, and that put it certainly lower than the PlayStation price point at this point. So I feel like they did that part right, and it was, you didn't have to leave your house for it, which is the other thing. You want to sell a lot of consoles, don't make people leave their house for your Black Friday deal. Like put it online, put it on at Best Buy and Amazon and the Microsoft store and everywhere else. Just give people that opportunity to do it from home, and you'll sell a shitload of shit. You won't get the in the store, I'll buy this thing too, but you know what? You're going to sell a lot of units. And from what Microsoft's saying, those lot of units are going to come with a lot of Xbox Live Gold subscriptions.
Yeah, I think that was like their main goal there. And I from the early news, from what I've heard since Black Friday, which is obviously fairly recent, PlayStation did really, really well. I think they actually beat out Xbox.
I saw that too, and I don't understand how that's possible.
Well, I mean, they had their price cut too. I think most people, it was such a disparaging price difference before when Microsoft did their price cut, enough to really, I think, boost sales. But now they're so close together again. They're actually back into competition with one another. I think that Sony, again, with its momentum and people just sort of saying, hey, what are you playing? And everyone else is seemingly playing a PlayStation 4, except for us. And everyone else we know. But yeah, I mean, I think that was enough to sort of motivate them to buy. But I mean, either way, it pushed sales. I think having them online, like Derek said, and not having to wait in the cold outside for, 2 a.m. all the way until the doors open, and then maybe not even getting the product because it's gone by the time you get through the door. It's a good idea. More and more we're seeing these types of things. And I think that's why you're starting to see maybe the price cuts aren't as large. Again, they were for the Xbox, but for TVs and other things like that, because more and more people are buying online, and you don't have that sort of need, hype, desire scenario to wait in line for 2 hours when they only have like 3 TVs in the store. Yep. Now it's 70 TVs or 100 TVs or 600 TVs or whatever. And so the price cut's a little bit less. So, I mean, it was interesting. I did, to answer the question, no, I did not get a new system. Did you?
Nope, I did not.
Well, I feel like we've got what we're going to get at this point. So there's not much left to get except for, I don't know, maybe a controller. But I can't get those either. So
that's true. You might have to buy a new console to get a controller.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I don't know.
All right. And a comment that we've been saving for a few weeks to have hit weigh in on this. Isaiah68 comments. I played through Halo 5. Disclaimer, per my tradition with Halo games, I play through each difficulty level. So at this point, I've only played through the easiest setting. But here's my issue. I don't think I'm going back. The story resides in the realm of lackluster. Despite the guns feeling great and silky smooth gameplay, the game feels incomplete. Yes, Warzone entertained me, but with Destiny, Battlefront, and Rainbow Six, I don't see myself getting into the multiplayer. Is it just me? Am I being overly negative? Minus Halo 4, the prior Halos just seem so much more memorable. Maybe I'm spoiled over a wealth of games with good stories and gameplay, or some combo thereof. Now, I can't weigh in on this because I bought Halo out of nostalgia pre-order purposes, but have not yet played it. But I know that both of you have. So
Yeah, this is a great question, and one because I think a lot of people, I actually don't know a lot of people that have finished the campaign that said they liked it. I think a lot of people said it was good, but that it was either really short or it felt unfinished. And that's unfortunate because I think what it's done for you is it's soured the game for you. I think, and that kind of sucks because ultimately the multiplayer in this Halo is the closest you're going to get to the Halos you remember. For me, again, this is always my opinion. People know how I feel about Halo. Anything past Halo 3, I think it's garbage. That's just how I am. So keep that in mind when I'm saying this, but it's the closest to 3, 2, 1 that you're going to get in terms of moving the gameplay forward. Like you said, it's got silky smooth gameplay. That maintains with a couple great additions to it. You've got Big Team Battle, you've got Arena, and all those other cool things. So I think because you played the campaign first, that's probably really hurt your feeling of the game. I have no intention of ever playing that side of the game, so that's kind of my perspective on things. I play Halo to shoot people. That's why I play Halo. But so from that perspective, if you're going to compare it and say, is there a reason to go back? If it's just to play multiplayer, then resoundingly yes. To me, it makes more sense. I feel like you're going to have way more fun in that version of Halo than any Halo since 3. And then furthermore, like we said, Tom Clancy and all those other games, I don't think they're on the same caliber as an FPS like Halo, like this Halo. So that's my perspective. Hit, how do you feel? And like, I don't know if you've played. Did you play the actual campaign yet, or have you only been doing multiplayer as well?
I beat the campaign and I've been playing multiplayer. Yeah, I did. I did the campaign only on normal. I went all the way through and beat it, and yeah, then I switched to multiplayer, and I've been stuck on multiplayer ever since.
And how do you feel like campaign wise? Because I'm the only one. Well, actually, Derek and I both. Is it good or is it not what you wanted it to be?
I think the game overall, and I think they've been trying to do this for the last two games. They're trying to make it Halo 2. Like they tried to
Yes.
do that with Master Chief Collection, and they're trying to do that again now. It's pretty evident because the story is just like Halo 2. It's two characters, two different perspectives, and it ends like in a
no
cliffhanger.
spoilers. No
Well,
spoilers.
no, not a spoiler, but it ends just like Halo 2, and yeah, even the multiplayer is the best multiplayer since Halo 2. And
Agreed.
yeah, so yeah, I feel like they were trying to copy Halo 2. And
Yeah, and I guess you have to be like okay with that. I
yeah,
mean, I think that's the thing. Like, if that's what you're looking for in your Halo game, a guy like me who Tool to Play was built on Halo, right, and has ultimately hated Halo ever since, and had never a reason to go back. It completely suits my idea of what a Halo game should be. And again, I feel like coming from a person like me, if you know anything about me and listen to the show, that's weird for me to even say out loud.
That is weird.
So, yeah. So, I mean, like, if you're looking for a recommendation, I feel like I'm a good one only because of I've got no skin in the game and I've hated Halo for the last
Pure
5
hate.
years.
so
Pure hate.
are you recommending it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For multiplayer.
Yes.
Again,
I'm
I
the
don't give a
I'm the
shit
exact
about
same
single
way.
player, so it doesn't affect me in any way. It could be the worst single player game ever. I would never even know. I didn't put it in perspective. I didn't give a shit about Destiny's terrible storyline, and it was the worst ever. One of the worst in history stories ever in a video game, and I didn't care. I thought Destiny was an amazing game, still do. So, if that's the thing that's going to sour you, then I feel like you might already be soured. But if you really ultimately love a great multiplayer game, I think you've got it. I think it's already on your system, and I think you should maybe
Yeah.
give it a shot. But yeah, like the Warzone shit, like I don't even care about that. That's not Halo to me. That's a great
Even
addition.
that's a good
but,
addition. Yeah, I think it's a
right,
good
it's a great
addition.
addition.
Yeah.
But I don't play it. But it's a good thing. Like it's a
And
good thing to
the
have.
other
in the
really
game.
good thing about Halo is all the content's free. Like they just released Big Team
Yeah,
Battle.
dude.
It was a free update, 9 gigs, free update. Like, and they're gonna
Forge
keep
coming
doing
out
shit like
completely
that.
free.
Yeah, new maps are always gonna be free. I think they included like 3 in that update.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, like the multiplayer is is amazing. Like the Warzone, the arena, the new shit that they're adding is pretty good. The story is an 8-hour campaign, just like every other Halo.
Right.
Like, I don't know what you're expecting from a better campaign, but
Yeah, me neither. I mean, I'm totally not the guy to.
it's
I couldn't tell you
the
what's
second
happening in
game
Halo.
of a trilogy.
I don't know.
I don't know what you expect.
Yeah.
It's the Twin Towers of Lord of the Rings. Like, here we go.
Right.
There's another game coming up.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Good answer.
All right. See, that's why we waited to take this question until Hit was here. Because he had that perfect feedback, and he even made himself a lower third for the show.
Yeah.
It was
I snuck into the chat area.
I saw it, and he's dumped in the chat, but for a while he did a full screen lower third. He took a full advantage of this. I liked it.
Bro.
I'm
But,
producing. I need the perks. It's the perks.
It's the perks of the game. Sure.
But great question, Isaiah 68. So that is why we held on that, and I don't think you'll be disappointed in your answer. So if any of you have awesome feedback like Altius or Isaiah 68, give us a call, 773-527-2961. Email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. You can also comment on this episode's thread on the Tool to Play homepage. And sponsors! Remember, by supporting our sponsors, you help support Still Got Game. Now, I was going to re-record a brand new one live during the show tonight, but I am going to cut and paste the old one in because there's going to be some changes, not to our sponsors, but to the deals that they are offering us, which are offering you. So next week, there will be a new one recorded most definitely, but this week, this is going to be a cut and paste for the podcast listeners because that part is still true. But just as a reminder, just so you know exactly what we're talking about, if you are shopping for Christmas presents at ThinkGeek, go to toolplay.com/geek first. If you don't, you are fucking us. Like you don't lose anything for doing that. So you're going to shop at ThinkGeek, toolplay.com/geek. You're going to go buy a craft beer subscription, a beer of the month club for someone. Go to toolplay.com/beer and then buy it. Like there's no reason for you not to do these things. You don't lose anything. You have all the benefits. You can still use all the coupon codes that you have or whatever else you saw online from an email from ThinkGeek. Save 20% today on all of these 50 items and get free shipping. Yeah, go to toolplay.com/geek, toolplay.com/beer, shop that way, and it helps us out. And next week, we will have some new deals for you because that's when they start getting desperate right before Christmas. And if you'd like to sponsor us, give us a call, 773-527-2961. Email us at podcast@toolplay.com. You tell us what you're selling. We'll tell you if you're going to pay us. We'll sell it. You pay us. Boom. Done. Twitter us up. You can find everything Tool to Play related at twitter.com/tool-to-play. Everything podcast related is at twitter.com/still_got_game. I, king of the fucking internet, god of everything that's fucking holy, am at twitter.com/Derek Nolan.
You can find me at twitter.com/dudeI.
Also, twitter.com/Electrify and twitter.com/I6Hitman. Facebook the fuck out of us. Facebook.com/Tool to Play. Facebook.com/Derek Nolan.
Facebook.com/DudeIRock.
Facebook.com/Tiff Nolan and Facebook.com/I6Hitman. Yeah, he's giving you a head shake, so that must be right. We also have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/Tool to Play. That is the place to find all of Tool to Play's archive video content, whether it's the episodes of this show, whether it's the rarely appearing Thick and Thin with LB and Duty special guest hit, or Tiff's uninformed interviews, interviews, whatever it is, her one-shot show that she was like, this is going to be my show, and it's going to be an awesome series. And then she did one. But she's preparing to bring that back, just like Hit is preparing to bring back Hit's motherfucking hits, because Hit is going to get all these Christmas presents this year, all of his new games, and he's going to do the old crinkle, 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 open them and play them for you at midnight as he has pleasure with those games. Oh yeah, Jay, your face is showing the Hitman pleasure right there. Yeah, you guys can't see it, but I can, and Jay is truly experiencing Hitman's pleasure that he feels when he does Hit's motherfucking hits. So that is coming back shortly. So be prepared for brand new episodes of that because, as the Twitterverse told us a couple months ago when we trended #1 worldwide on Twitter with the bring back hits, quick hits, like that was the prime moment for the end of the show here. We talked to you guys. We asked you to bring it. You guys brought us worldwide trending #1 above Kim Kardashian, above Justin Bieber. We fucking trended on Hit's show, and he owes you. So he will be bringing it back sooner than later. And if he doesn't, you guys can call him on it because he's promised you He's put his heart and soul into this, and he wants to bring it back. He wants it more than anything. You could smash his vape, poke a hole in that fucking volcano bag. He doesn't care because he wants to bring back hits. Also, please rate and review this podcast in iTunes. We need some more 5-star reviews, and we need you to write a little something nice to go with it. If all the time you have is like, I can do 5 stars and that's it, that's fine. But if you can write a little something, that would mean a lot to us. And like each and every week, we cover a random review from our recent reviews. And this week's featured iTunes review is from Soft Encounter. The title of the review, which came with 5 stars, of course, was Rocket Bros. How can you go wrong with Rocket Bros? And he wrote, great podcast for video game news, funny and informative. Now, this was not one of the funniest iTunes reviews we had. It's not even one of the most well-written. It's 2 sentence fragments. Well, 1 sentence and 1 sentence fragment. It's pretty much a retard could have written this, but Soft Encounter stepped up, putting out on the line. I know this is supposed to be the part of the show where I'm bringing a reviewer to the front and making them seem like this is a good thing to be featured, but at least
you're shitting on him instead.
Yeah, I know.
Just so I understand you correctly.
It's not shitting on him. It's more I'm trying to give people something to strive for, because if you need a bar set, Soft Encounter has set it pretty low. You can easily jump his bar by going more than 1 sentence and 1 sentence fragment. And you will certainly be featured on the show with your, wow. I see Tiff losing it. I see Jay losing it. I see Hit losing it, which means I've probably gone over and above what I should have done to poor old Soft Encounter. So I'm going to dial it back, pretend like that never happened. No, Tiff is crying now. She's wiping her eyes with a tissue. So I'm going to dial it back a little bit. Soft Encounter. You, sir, you really are what we're looking for in a fan.
Yeah, that's heartfelt.
And we appreciate what you did on iTunes. You went there, you gave the 5 stars, and you took the extra time to put out a sentence and a half sentence. And that's really all we're asking for. Wow. All right. We also have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/tooltoplay. That is where Tool to Play puts out all of our live content, except when Hit is cheating on us with his fucking Watchtower Games bullshit, because he should be streaming all the time on twitch.tv/tooltoplay. But that is where the normal Tool to Play streaming occurs. So go to twitch.tv/tooltoplay. You can find this show there. Sometimes Hit, when he's not self-promoting, he's streaming there. I'm streaming there. Sometimes Tiff may stream there. No, she's saying no because she forgets how to stream. But Jay has streamed there maybe once or twice in his entire life. But that is the place where we will all be streaming. And we're going to put more and more of our stuff there because we cannot not have stuff there. So more of us will be streaming. I might even stream our raid tonight. Well, actually, tonight's lame. But Wednesday night, I'll stream our raid there. And that is definitely the place to go to and find our live video content. So there's a follow button. You can follow us on Twitch. That's easy peasy, lemon squeezy, costs you nothing. But if you want to give back to the show, there is a subscribe button, either here or here. And you go there, click that. It's only $5. And that is how to give money directly to the show. So you like the show. You enjoy us picking on people like Soft Encounter, which wasn't really picking on them. It was more like giving them a high five, but low. That's the place to go do that. Give us a subscribe there and kick back to the show and help us out. I guess before we end, I want to remind you, you can join us each and every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, twitch.tv/tooltoplay. And on that, why don't we wrap this episode up? I am Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
And I am Joel Dude I Rock Albert.
It's time for a Soft Encounter.